Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. We bring you the right information to empower you, the SME entrepreneur. Tonight on the show, we're putting the spotlight on Brown Boy, which is based in Kolkata. We're also bringing you highlights of what experts are saying about data security for small businesses. And we're bringing you a ground report from Jaipur. Our first small joint tonight is with Kolkata-based Brown Boy. This very young entrepreneur has ensured that he's bringing the latest trends as far as high street fashion from cities like New York and Milan are concerned, and combining that with certified organic cotton. Take a listen to the story that Shreya Sarvedikari, who traveled to Kolkata, did for you.
Inspired by New York's high street vogue, this Kolkata-based startup is creating a brand that stands for fashion, design and sustainability in every way. Offering premium clothes made of 100% organic cotton, Brown Boy has a lot to offer to the fashion-conscious man, be it in the metropolitan or someone from the Tier 2 cities in India. Prateek, thank you so much for giving your time here with us today.
Thanks, Shreya, for calling us over for this amazing interview.
Prateek, talking about Brown Boy, let me talk a little bit about the company. Brown Boy offers clothing which is made out of 100% certified organic cotton. So tell us about the material which you're using and how are you sourcing it?
So before we got into fashion, when we were just developing the idea on how to get things made, I wasn't aware of what organic cotton is. Because as consumers, we never really pay attention to where a product that we purchase is coming from. When you really get into the scene and you dig a bit deeper, that's when you start realizing the entire manufacturing and the back end of a business. Once I went around the country and to other factories overseas, I was seeing the kind of materials that were being used, and they were completely chemical ridden and not really eco-friendly or skin-friendly. And considering that I didn't want to do something which is not right, I felt like I did a bit more research to find if there is an alternative to this. That's when I came to know that there is organic cotton available as well. About 2% of the world's entire production of cotton is organic, which is pretty much nothing. And very few brands in the world are indulging in this. I wanted to be one of the brands that take a step forward in the right direction. So we started researching on where we could source the 2%, of all the cotton. So it's very hard to source organic cotton because there's not enough of it out there. But we were adamant that we have to be organic. So we went researching about farms in Odisha, in Gujarat, and in Hyderabad, in Andhra Pradesh. And that's when we came across Chetna Organics, which is the leading organic cotton producer of the world. Sure. It was really hard to convince them to supply us that little cotton, that organic cotton that is there, because most of it gets exported. Right. So over 6 months of pursuing them, that's when they finally had to agree, because they were like, if we do not agree, this guy is not going to stop emailing us and calling us and coming at our door. So that's when we got them to supply organic cotton for us. And what is organic cotton? It's completely chemical-free, naturally grown cotton, where we do not use any fertilizers or insecticides, pesticides. We don't use high-yielding seeds. It's all naturally done.
Well, like you said, that organic cotton is very difficult to source and it is only exported.
Yeah.
So how cost efficient is it for you?
It's not cost efficient, to be honest. Organic cotton is expensive. Because it's expensive to grow organic cotton, it's easier to take the conventional route, where sure, people are using insecticides and pesticides and all sorts of chemicals, because it helps the cotton to grow fast, the yields are higher. When it's organic, you're doing it naturally. It takes a lot of time, it takes longer, it's more expensive, it's more labor intensive. So hence the cotton is more expensive. Because most of it and I think that's why a lot of it gets exported, because brands overseas can pay higher prices and are willing to do that. Absolutely. For organic cotton. It just makes common sense to me to opt for organic cotton, because in the longer run, yes, as of now we are paying more, but in the longer run it's economically makes more sense, because there's less harm that you're doing, your products are better in quality, people would come to you at the end of the day for the quality that you're providing. So for me, it makes economical sense in the longer run, yes, but it's a lot more expensive as compared to conventional cotton.
Brown Boy comes under 100% fair trade agreement. Talk to us about it.
Fair trade is really, really important for us. So when we started out, we had, as I said, no idea about the dark side of fashion, because as a consumer, when you go and buy something, you really never think about where it's coming from, who's making it, who are the people behind it. You just pretty much go buy it and pay for it. When you get into a bit deeper into the entire industry, that's when you realize the dark side of it. And it's really bad. They are underpaid. The working conditions are bad. They don't have insurance. They don't have any food security. Their children don't go to school, and so on and so forth. There are many, many things under this brand. So I'd never want to do something which I'm not consciously guilty about. And I didn't want to get into fashion knowing that the person who's making my product is not happy making it.
Absolutely.
And that's when the whole fair trade angle came into the picture. We realized that if we keep waiting for somebody else to do this change, it's never going to happen. So might as well take the step ourselves. And from day one, before the first product also came out, we made sure that it's all ethically made. Everyone who's part of the team is well paid, has insurance, has food security, their children go to school, their working conditions are really nice, and human hours, they're not overworked. There are no sweatshops that we work with. So, and then when your product comes out of a workshop like that, you're consciously happy, and you know that it's come from a place of good, and it's just going to make the world a better place.
Talking about ethical fashion, how difficult is it for an entrepreneur to be ethically sustainable?
It's extremely difficult to be ethically sustainable, because sustainability is just not ethical. You have to be financially sustainable. As an idea, the business has to be sustainable so that it moves forward. So being ethically sustainable is not enough. And making sure that it's ethically sustainable is really expensive. So you have those additional hurdles that you need to cross or make your way around, and make sure that you're still following what you believe. And it's totally doable. We are an example of that. A company can, but I think it's the people behind the company who really need to make that conscious decision to be, that we want to be ethical. We want to make sure that everyone who's part of this company is being compensated for well, is happy being part of the brand, you're doing good in a bigger picture. So I think it really depends on who the people are. If you want to, you can do it.
You are West Bengal's first crowdfunded startup. Talk to us about your crowdfunding campaign which you did on Wishberry.
Crowdfunding is a really, really exciting space to be in. When I was in the US developing the idea, I heard about Kickstarter, and I really was fascinated about how interesting it would be to start a company where people who are going to be your customers are the ones who fund the company to begin, you know. And once I came back to India and we wanted to launch, we were like, okay, I think it's the best thing to do. It's most interesting. Before even you are launching, you reach out to your customers. Your customers would get a first-hand feel of the product that you're trying to create. And you would also create a conversation of the idea that you're trying to build, because we were unique in fashion as well. We were sustainable, ethical. Our products were a little more expensive as compared to other brands. We are organic. So, and back then, nobody knew about what organic or sustainability or ethical fashion is. So it helped us start a conversation about that as well. It was really exciting. We launched our campaign under Wishberry, and we kept a very conservative target, because we were being one of the first brands in India to start on crowdfunding. And the idea of itself was new. Also, crowdfunding helped us get a lot of press publicity. We had really great names like Narayan Murthy, Ronnie Screwvala, Sudha Murthy being attached to the campaign. They all were funders to the campaign. And it was really exciting. I think we broke our target in the first 10 days itself, and we had a 30-day campaign. So that just says how successful it was.
Absolutely. So what are your plans, future plans of raising funding?
For me, funding is, yes, it's an important key to move a brand forward, but I feel it's the people who really come with that kind of funds and the expertise. Personally, I value people more. So for me, it really depends on who comes with it and not what funds the person brings in. So I'm really looking for those mentors and those kinds of those team members who can take the idea from where it is to what it should be.
Prateek, you have successfully established a brand in the Indian as well as the global market. So what's next in the pipeline?
We have really interesting things in the pipeline. We have a sustainable co-working space that we've built. It's called Motherland Studios. So that's a focus point for us. We are trying to expand that. We are also coming up with a sustainable cafe where everything would be organic, homegrown, and freshly made. And we are coming up with a women's collection, which is completely made from homegrown handloom fabrics. So these are the few things that we have in the pipeline. We are trying to introduce completely vegetable dyed fabrics. So as of now, we are using dyes which are water-based, environmentally friendly, but still chemical dyes, which are completely eco-friendly. We're taking that a step forward where we want to dye our products in completely 100% plant-based inks. So we are extracting ink from indigo plants, from red madder trees, from barks of different trees, and we are creating colors to dye our garments in. So that's really exciting as well, because then we become everything is natural.
Great. Thank you so much, Prateek, for talking to us today.
It was great talking to you, Shreya, too.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
We're going to take a quick break on that note, but on the other side, we are bringing you highlights of what experts are saying about data security for SMEs, as well as putting the spotlight on this ground report from Pink City, Jaipur. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. Tonight we bring you highlights of a data security forum being done by PCI, as well as a ground report from Jaipur. The importance of data security for businesses, no matter what the size, can't be overstated, and the Leaders of Tomorrow team recently caught up with some of the biggest experts when it comes to this space to understand what and how small businesses should be doing when it comes to protecting their data. Take a listen.
Data security and cybersecurity are a little larger than the area that we deal with. We're dealing with payment security, in particular payment security that runs on the international networks. So for us, our vision is to make those as safe, as seamless, and as frictionless from a security standpoint and from a threat standpoint as possible. We want to ensure that people trust the transaction, don't think about it, and just do the commerce. Our objective here is to further the engagement with the Indian participants, not only to explain who we are and how it's relevant for them to understand what we do, but to ask for their participation with us so that they can be significant contributors to payment security on a global basis. Regardless of how payments occur going forward, whether they are digital or contactless or whatever it is that you want to use as a definer of it, those payments are going to need to be secure and people are going to need to trust them. And what I look for in India is that the entities who are creating those new products, who are developing and deploying those new opportunities for payment, recognize the need for security and engage with us so that they actually can be part of the global landscape of protecting data, protecting payments globally.
One of the key things we want to make people aware that in today's world we're dealing with global criminals. The criminals are not necessarily based in India, they can be based anywhere in the world, but if your organization is connected to the internet, then those criminals can start accessing that data. And so we want to raise awareness, we want to raise understanding, And actually, really importantly, we want to raise awareness of involvement for those organisations to become more involved in PCI, in the development and really growth of our standards, so that we can spread that message out to all organisations that actually having good payment security, having good data security is an essential part of today's business. Being aware that you have data that is really valuable to criminals is a first step. And that applies equally whether you're a real technology hub, a fintech company, or whether you're a large merchant, or even down to small merchants. 51 million small merchants in India, of which just less than half are now accepting payments on the internet. We need to try and get information out to those people as well, that actually they're now a target to the criminals.
Payment data is very crucial, It's like a card data is considered as a gold mine. You assume you have a bank account and you lost money from your bank account, somebody withdraws it, you have a loss. Similar way, now it's becoming more digital, where the cards are going to play a very crucial role, where you have everything on your card. Hacker looks for data. And why they need data is just to monetize it. It's a global problem. And we need to combat this problem, right? We need to come out of this problem. And this can only happen once we start having an effective implementation. And effective implementation of the standards comes only when you are trained, you are educated, there is a proper awareness, your skills are being so equipped, you are equipped with those skill sets which helps you in implementing those standards, becomes very, very crucial. India is on the way, and I think we should be able to achieve it very soon.
The first thing that possibly comes to mind when we are talking about Jaipur is the fact that it's home to many traditional industries and businesses, and most of them are perhaps feeling very disappointed and a little helpless maybe when it comes to the multiple changes we've seen of late, whether demonetisation or GST, but are hopeful for 2019 and what changes lie ahead. Tanya Dubey travelled to the Pink City to bring you this ground report. Listen.
The markets of Jaipur are just as colourful as the articles found here. From Leheria to Goti works, to exquisite silver jewellery and gems found in the bylanes and shops, the city boasts of traditional businesses that remain relevant today. We talked to multiple traders and artisans to find out how they've stood the test of time.
ये लेहरिया क्राफ्ट है, इसको 140 साल होगा लगभग, हमारे परदादा के टाइम से हो रहा है, 4 जनरेशन है हमारी जी। इसमें पुराने टाइम में जो होता था कॉटन पे होता था और राजा महाराजाओं के लिए पगड़ियों में ही होता था लेहरिया। उसके बाद से 1.5 महीने का ही ये सीज़न रहता था जो लेडीज़ के लिए आया था, तो तीज के टाइम पे लेहरिया स्पेशल राजस्थान में पहना जाता है। 89 में हमारे पिताजी को नेशनल अवार्ड मिला था। उसके बाद से सन 2000 तक तो इतना कोई प्रोग्रेस नहीं हुआ था। सन 2002 के बाद से फैशन डिज़ाइनरों ने इस काम को एक तरह से ख़त्म सा हो गया था। फैशन डिज़ाइनरों ने इस काम को बढ़ाया, आगे लेके आए कि ये पुरानी जो पारंपरिक ये लेहरिया टाई एंड डाई एक तरह से ख़त्म होता जा रहा था, तो उन लोगों की मेहनत रही है, उसके पीछे वो रहा। अभी मेकिंग इंडिया, मेड इन इंडिया के जो थ्रू प्रधानमंत्री जी की जो योजना है उसमें 4 साल से हम लोगों को बेनिफिट मिला है। फैशन शो करवाया जा रहा है, इसमें डायरेक्ट मतलब कारीगर को एक दुकानदार या जो भी ख़रीदार है उससे मिलाया जा रहा है। उसके थ्रू उसमें क्या है, हमारे काम को प्रोग्रेस मिली है, आगे बहुत अच्छा प्रोत्साहन मिला है इसका।
तो 1975 के अंदर मैंने अपना व्यापार चालू किया था। उस समय मुझे काफ़ी वो थी इंटरेस्ट, समझा। तब से छोटे स्केल पे चलता हुआ आया व्यापार और आज तो काफ़ी स्केल पे हो गया काम। जयपुर शहर में भी। इससे पहले ये काम कलकत्ता में हुआ करता था और यहाँ बहुत कम कारीगर थे।
सब ये जयपुरी हैं हमारे यहाँ, टोटल काम ही जयपुरी हमारे। ये जयपुरी जूतियाँ हैं हमारी हर तरह की, लेडीज जेंट्स सब बिकती हैं, बच्चों की। फेमस शॉप है हमारी, बिजनेस हमारा अच्छे चलता है। टूरिस्ट आता है हमारे यहाँ ज़्यादा, लोकल बंदे भी आते हैं जयपुर के।
Although frustrated with the inconvenience caused by demonetization and the initial difficulty in comprehending GST procedures, traders in Pink City, Jaipur have embraced these changes and continue to flourish.
उस टाइम पे जैसे हुआ महीने 2 महीने तक तो एक तरह से व्यापार ठप सा हो गया था, बिल्कुल ख़त्म सा हो गया था। कुछ वो लेन देन नहीं हो पा रहा था क्योंकि कुछ एक्स्ट्रा मनी जो होती थी ना वो इस चीज़ में काम में आती थी, तो वो इस्तेमाल नहीं हो रहा था। अब धीरे धीरे वे पटरी पे आया, वापस से व्यापार अपना वो हो गया। एक तरह से जीएसटी चुकाने के बाद भी अच्छा वो बिजनेस प्रोग्रेस मिल रहा है, एक नंबर में सारे काम होने लग गए। बिजनेस में आसानी ये हुई है कि जैसे पेमेंट जो था पहले बहुत टाइम भी हो जाता था, अब जीएसटी जैसे चुकाते हैं तो 1 महीने के अंदर हमारा पेमेंट आसानी से मिल जाता है और उसमें हमारे को भी सहूलियत रहती है, दुकानदारों को भी सहूलियत रहती है उसमें। इससे
पहले जो है अपने जीएसटी एग्जम्प्टेड था कि वो सारा लघु उद्योग है, ये कारीगर हाथ से काम करते हैं, जो बनता है वो भी हाथ से बनता है और यहाँ जो साड़ियाँ काम में आती है, साड़ियों पर काम करते हैं वो भी टोटल हाथ से काम करते हैं। एग्जम्प्टेड था, अब इसको जीएसटी में ले लिया 5% और 12%, 2 रेंज में है। तो इसका मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि एक रेट हो, 12 हो या 5 हो, थोड़ा सा रूप बदलते ही 5 में हो जाता है, कुछ 12 में हो जाता है, तो उससे बिलिंग वगैरह करने में थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम आती है। और ख़ास तौर से जैसे मेरे जैसे व्यापारी जो वृद्ध हो चुके हैं, कंप्यूटर जानते नहीं है, न जानने की कोशिश करते, तो बिलिंग में काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम आती है।
All right, completely out of time on the show tonight. If you have any feedback for us, here's how you get in touch. leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. As always, our email ID on Twitter, Sunanda_J, LOT_ET now. On Facebook, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET now. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.